The largest increase to Social Security benefits could be coming very soon. And I want to explain why that is, who it's coming from, and who it could potentially be affecting. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on. So right now there are many discussions happening regarding Social Security. One of the discussions that is happening right now, and it's being pushed by a group of progressives, is that the Biden administration must, not should, must address Social Security within this next year. They're saying this is a guarantee. If he doesn't address Social Security within this next year, he is going to lose the upcoming presidential election. Democrats will lose seats in the House, and they will lose seats in the Senate, which will likely flip to Republican. So here's where things are at, and this is why things are so tricky at this time. We are seeing poll after poll numbers that are saying that President Biden and really all lawmakers should address Social Security. And as long as we don't see any cuts to Social Security or Medicare, people will be fine. But I bring all this up because the discussions that are happening right now, these are telling all lawmakers that if you address Social Security, then voters will vote for you. That's what we're hearing. Now, I read this interesting article earlier on today, and one campaign expert had this to say, and I quote, "Legislation for the largest increase ever is coming. It's just a matter of time. Democrats need the win, and they aren't going to get it anywhere else." So essentially what this person is saying is that right now legislation on a larger Social Security check, Social Security expansion, ensuring that we don't see the full retirement age increase, ensuring that Social Security's trust fund remains solvent past the next 10 years. All these things are on the table. And I want to address where some of these large increases are coming from because, again, and I addressed this the other day, I addressed it 2 days ago as well, talked a lot about this last week, is I don't see an increase to your Social Security check coming unless it's in the form of tax savings. I'll address that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and read this. This is from Politico. This is just out today, okay? I talked about this yesterday. I talked about this the day before. Now we're starting to see the reports. I told you this was coming. Look at this. It says Biden urged to go big on Social Security as a way to beat Trump. It says progressive groups have been pitching the White House on the idea. Whether the re-election campaign uses it is another matter. So here's what's been going on. We are seeing certain groups and certain lawmakers as well. They are pushing for a massive increase to Social Security. And this is more than the $200 per month that President Biden promised when he was running for election in 2020. But what's happening now is these groups are saying that if you don't put this on the table, if you don't tell voters that what your plan is, there's a chance they could flip and go to Republican. Before, and this happened in 2020, we kept hearing that Democrats had to be voted in. You couldn't vote Republican because if you voted for a Republican, Republicans were going to cut Social Security, they were going to cut Medicare, and you would lose all your benefits. That wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen then. It's not going to happen now. The reason for this is because it would be political suicide for a Republican or a Democrat to come out and say that they do not agree to more benefits. Right now, 70 million people collect some form of Social Security. The amount of people that are receiving Social Security checks, the majority of them are also voters. Those people matter. They matter a lot. Now, I want to get to some of the stuff that's said in this article. I want to read you this. Right here it says, the proposal, they argue, would be broadly popular with the electorate that ranks Social Security among the top issues they care deeply about, especially among seniors more likely to vote. Now, initially, Republicans, and I don't want to say all Republicans because that's definitely not true. There was a handful of Republicans, and I mean a handful, 5, maybe 10 Republicans that said they wanted to cut Social Security. They wanted to raise the full retirement age. They wanted to cut Social Security. They wanted to eliminate Medicare, right? That was the very few Republicans. The majority said, no, we cannot cut Social Security. We cannot cut Medicare. Those are essential programs here in the United States. Well, President Biden initially said that, we cannot cut those benefits. And Republicans are all for slashing those benefits, reducing them, cutting them, right? Saving money. But actually, and this happens because Democrats left the door open, Republicans said, no, we don't want to cut Social Security. We want to ensure that it remains solvent, that it's around for the next 75 years. Democrats continue to say that the wealthy need to pay their fair share in benefits, or their fair share in taxes. And this would contribute more money to Social Security. But yet they haven't done anything for it. They haven't passed any legislation. And if you remember, between 2020 and 2022, Democrats had the majority in the House, the Senate, and they had the presidency. And did they pass any legislation to ensure that Social Security remained solvent past 2034? No. Did they pass legislation to increase the Social Security benefit per month? Because President Biden promised $200 per month. This was part of his campaign speech, his promises. Never happened. I want to read you this. It says, Biden embraced Social Security expansion during the 2020 Democratic primary. And he did. I just addressed that. Proposing to boost benefits for the lowest income retirees and shore up Social Security's main trust fund by raising taxes on those making $400,000 or more a year. But faced with a slim congressional majority, once he took office, Biden largely dropped the idea. And many of you have not forgotten. President Biden promised additional benefits. He promised $200 per month. He promised no additional taxes. We haven't seen anything increase for Social Security other than the cost of living adjustment, but that's part of the law. They have to do that. He hasn't done anything as far as saving you money, right? Getting rid of some of the taxes. He hasn't done that. And I bring this up because right now, according to a recent poll, says just 41% trusted Biden more than Trump to safeguard Social Security benefits. So right now, there's some that are saying, well, former President Donald Trump might save Social Security because President Biden and Democrats just haven't done it. Now, here are the large increases coming. And I want to address these because this is what we have seen in the past. This is what we are going to see moving forward. First, the cost of living adjustment. Okay, this is going to increase. This is not a large increase. This isn't the largest increase we're going to see. This is much smaller than the 8.7% we saw last year. It's going to come in at 3.2%. But another increase is the Social Security tax cap. This is going to go from $160,200 to $168,600. That's an increase of $8,400. That's a large increase. This means that more money is going to flow into the Social Security Trust Fund. The only problem is the amount of people that make over the $160,000 up to $168,000. It's not a huge number. And then the other issue is, well, there's less people working, right? That's a problem. Another large increase. This is something that we are expecting because we are now starting to see more and more negotiations on this. This is actually starting to turn into negotiation, not just a discussion anymore. But right now, multiple people, and there's bipartisan support for this, are looking at the Social Security or the IRS tax code that says that right now, a Social Security recipient that receives over $25,000 per year in income This is Social Security. This is just regular income, non-investment income, right? All this stuff. If you make over $25,000 per year and you're single, you're an individual, then up to 50% of your Social Security benefits are taxable. If you make over, I believe it's $44,000, if you're $34,000 as an individual, $44,000 as a couple, you make over that per year, then you would actually be required to pay up to 85 or taxes on up to 85% of your benefits. Okay, so this is what lawmakers are looking into. That why have these numbers? The $25,000 is actually $32,000 for a couple. Why have those numbers not changed since 1983? And I talked about this the other day that in 1983, the median income here in the United States was about $24,500. Today, in 2023, is about $75,000. 3 times as much, but yet those two numbers have not changed in, 40 years. So this right here could potentially be the largest increase we see. But here's where things get interesting. Will the Biden administration even do it? I don't know. But all I can tell you is that this is something that they are looking into. That progressive groups are now pushing President Biden and urging him. You have to do more. You have to go big on Social Security if you want to beat former President Donald Trump. So, if this is what Democrats are doing, I'm curious what Republicans have planned, because lately we haven't seen a whole lot from Republicans regarding Social Security. So, as we get more information on that, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates, but that is what we know as of right now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.